Let me ask you a question. How is seeking help from a foreign ally to investigate possible corruption equal to wanting foreign interference in our elections? The Democrats and their media tell us it's because Quid Pro Joe is a Democratic candidate for president. But what does that have to do with anything? Trump is the incumbent candidate for 2020, and the Democrats have been investigating him since before he was elected. What a lot of people don't know is that the president's lawyer didn't go to that part of the world seeking information on possible corruption by the Bidens. He went to clear his boss's name. He went to protect his client from what we now know, without a shadow of a doubt, were BS allegations. And those BS allegations were improperly used to justify the FBI spying on his first campaign. So why wouldn't Trump, a man of means, hire his own team to look into the situation? The Democrats could not foresee what would transpire by pushing the false allegations of the dossier. They naively thought Trump would do what a lot of Republicans have done and just quit. They assumed that if they could swirl enough embarrassing rumors and put him under investigation, he would think the office isn't worth the trouble. But Trump isn't the type of politician they're used to dealing with, and that's coming back to bite them in the butt. They never thought in a million years that smearing Trump would lead to anyone on their side being investigated. But you have to go where the evidence takes you. So, should there be an investigation into the Bidens? I think so. Hunter Biden, a guy with very questionable judgment that has done things like getting kicked out of the military for drug use and banging his dead brother's wife and getting a stripper pregnant, is made a board member at Burisma Holdings, a Ukrainian company, just a few weeks after his father, the vice president of the United States, was asked to oversee U.S.-Ukraine relations. That's already a little suspicious. Even the New York Times pointed that out back in 2015. The other day, I was having one of those lovely Facebook conversations about this with a lefty who kept calling me a liar, even though I was just asking questions. He posted an article from the USA Today that he thought proved that the Bidens were innocent of any nefarious activity. And that's usually a mistake with a guy like me because I can read and think for myself. So I posted a paragraph from the article and asked him a couple of questions. This is from the USA Today, November 15th, 2019. Quote, "Critics of Hunter Biden have questioned how he landed such a lucrative role with no experience in Ukraine or the gas industry. But it's not unusual for Ukrainian companies to bring on high-profile people from the West in an effort to burnish their image and gain influence." So I asked him, what makes Hunter Biden a high-profile person? And what sort of influence do you think would be gained by hiring the son of the Vice President of the United States? Of course, to that, he said something about Trump's tax returns and called me a liar again. The talking point by the Democrats is that Burisma was not under investigation and that everyone knew that the chief prosecutor was corrupt. That's why Joe Biden withheld $1 billion of aid until he was fired. And when you question how Hunter landed such a lucrative position, their defense boils down to this. It's normal for companies to buy influence, so there's nothing to see here. In my last video, I said that the Democrats want Washington to go back to business as usual. This is their business as usual. This is how our politicians and their friends get rich. This is why the Clinton Foundation was getting millions of dollars from around the world. And now Trump has thrown a wrench into that corrupt way of getting rich. And thanks to people like investigative journalist John Solomon, there is a lot of information out there that casts serious doubt on Vice President Biden's story as to why he withheld $1 billion of aid from Ukraine. Burisma Holdings, the company that was paying Hunter Biden more than $50,000 a month, has an American legal team, and they requested a meeting with the Ukrainian government on the same day the chief prosecutor was fired. And we have the Ukrainian government's official memo of that meeting. Let's check out paragraph 2. The purpose of their visit was an apology for dissemination of false information by U.S. representatives and public figures on the activities of the Prosecutor General's Office of Ukraine in regards to the investigation of criminal activities of Zlochevsky. Now let's stop right there. Mykola Zlochevsky is the founder of Burisma Holdings and was said to have hired Hunter Biden himself. What Burisma's legal team was doing was trying to smooth things over with the Prosecutor General's office. Why? If the firing of the chief prosecutor had nothing to do with Burisma, why would they need to smooth things over? The memo continues. These individuals noted that they had been aware that the Prosecutor General's Office of Ukraine had implemented all required steps for prosecution of Zlochevsky. Wow. Burisma's legal team knew that the chief prosecutor was on the verge of prosecuting Zlochevsky, the owner of the company that had recently hired Hunter Biden and was paying him more money a month than a lot of us make in a year. And before it could happen, Joe Biden withheld $1 billion of aid from Ukraine, stipulating that they must fire the chief prosecutor to get it. And guess what?
Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired.
Look, this one memo alone makes it clear that the story Joe Biden and the media are pushing is a bunch of malarkey. This meeting took place just days after the chief prosecutor was fired, and Burisma's legal representatives not only knew that all the steps had been completed to prosecute the owner of the company, they also knew that U.S. representatives had disseminated false information about the chief prosecutor, presumably to make his firing seem legit. That sounds like corruption at the highest levels of our government, and it's our right and the president's duty to find out what happened and hold those people accountable, even if they are the leading Democratic candidate for 2020. I'll put a link to the memo in the description below. If you can read it and still make a case for this to not be investigated, then you're blinded by partisan politics. And if you think Trump should be impeached because he thinks this should be investigated, you're blinded by your hatred for our president and partisan politics. The way it's looking to me, Quid Pro Creepy Joe should repaint his tour bus. He should change it from this to this. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and if you want to become a supporting member of Blue Collar Logic, click on the link in the description and give what you can.